everybody, welcome back to the third show of the third series of Keeping Up with Champagne Lady. Yes, I am Champagne Lady. That's my nickname and my business. And I hope you can keep up with me as I travel New Zealand introducing my Champagne Jacquard to restaurants, supermarkets, liquor outlets and bars. My biggest pleasure is meeting lots of people and giving you the chance to enjoy this beautiful champagne. But before we go any further, just a little bit of history about my Champagne Jacquard. Suffice to say, it's the real deal. Its origins are the French Champagne region, centred around Reims, 144 kilometres northeast of Paris. Tonight on the show, I welcome Don Ha and Vicky Loach. Both of them tell a great story how they started from nothing and have managed to create wonderful property portfolios. They insist that you can do it too. Let's hear their story. Well, Vicky, rock chick, so good to have you back on the show again.
And it's fabulous to be back.
And I know last time we talked, you'd started up Rock Confidence, and here you are with someone famous involved in real estate. So Don Ha, how did you come to be in New Zealand?
Well, we actually came here in 1980. We were refugees from Vietnam, went to Hong Kong, and at that time the quota for the UK, Australia, America were taken up, and no one wants to come here. So we didn't come here because we want to. We come here because we got no choice.
Oh, great! What a charmer he is.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And Auckland City at the time, believe it or not, only had 500,000 people.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, have
now
things
it's like
changed?
1.6 million plus. Big change in traffic, housing, wages. You know, our family were on. I think my father was working for the breweries, and he was getting $120 a week.
Really? This is DB Breweries?
Yes, that's right.
We used to do the beer labels, our family. My father probably knew your father.
Okay, well, they don't speak any English at the time, so they get a job where they just watch these bottles that go past. If it falls over, they stand them up. Well, anyone can do that, right? So that's and then he got my uncle a job there, my brother a job there, my other brother's job there, and that's how it all started.
And then you took over the breweries. Is that what you're going to tell me?
No, and then from there we bought our first home after 4 years being in New Zealand, and then we got into business because I see the culture here in New Zealand is everyone gets paid, they spend their own money and they pay so much board. But in our family or in our culture, you go to work, you keep $20 for lunch, and you give everything to my parents. And then that's how we save up so quickly to buy our first home within 4 years being in the country. And after that, we save up so much more and we buy our first bakery.
Fantastic. So where was the bakery?
The bakery was in Otara. And then from there, we bought another one in Harris Road, still now in Harris Road.
Yes.
The Saigon Bakery in Point Chevalier, still run by my older brother. He's been there for like nearly 40 years.
Really?
He hasn't got even a passport right now.
Is that right? Don't tell people
he
that.
He has not been out of the country for 40 years. He's mad. Recently, he's got a passport, but he said, you guys can travel as much as you want. I don't want to travel, but I'll choose to spend $100,000 on my landscaping so I can see it every day.
There you go.
That's great, isn't it?
He's my older brother.
That's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
A lot of bread.
It certainly is. So now I understand you're very involved in property and a lot of it in the apartment arena and so on.
Yeah, well, recently I just thought about myself. I said, how do I get to this position? You know, 1994 I started into real estate. The houses I was selling was 45,000 and 35,000. But in my first year I sold 86 houses. Now, no real estate agent sells 86 houses in 12 months. Which is like, the average is like maybe one a month. I sold 86. I just went mad. Gosh. And then I started getting to the development early. So if I wind back the clock now, those 86 houses come to about 10.6 million. Today they'll be worth 60 million. So the company at the time then only had control about maybe 10 million of stock as a whole company. Today, myself and my company, I don't know how did it happen, but we control now over 2 billion of projects around the country. We have more listings, business in one office than the whole franchise group put together.
And what's the name of the office?
We are now part of the Rebanks. Yeah, but we're in Papatoetoe, but we have projects in Queenstown, in the CBD, in Newmarket, Manukau, and recently Wellington coming up. And developers keep on coming to me because I have the ability of selling at 20 or 30 within 30 days.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Now, who do you sell to in the majority? I mean, are they local people? Are they people from overseas, or?
Well, that's actually a good question because I'm Asian, so most people think that I got a lot of Asian connections. So they come and they give me this big project, this listing, because I got all the Asian connections. But believe it or not, the reality is all my clients are actually local Kiwis. In fact, if an Asian client ring me up and speak Mandarin over the phone, I just can't speak the language, so they hang up on me.
Oh, great.
So the clientele belongs to somebody else, but all my clients are local Kiwi buyers.
Yes. That's good. It's great that you've got yourself so established into the local environment, isn't it? That makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And in 1994, when I first started selling real estate, I mentor a lot of these first-home buyers. So say a family, I help them save up deposit, and today that same family owns 11 properties. And then that's how you keep on, you do that like 100, you do it to 300, you do it to 1,000, and your client following for generations comes through the rank.
So how did you two tie up together?
Well, funny you should ask, Champagne Lady. Rock chick meets real estate. Look, I actually, in all seriousness, was introduced to Don through a very dear friend of mine, Phil Kingsley Jones, who is an entertainer and a bit of a celebrity in his own right, and obviously was the manager of Jonah Lomu for many years, and took me under his wing many years ago as my manager, as being an entertainer. And anyway, years went by, and then Phil contacted me and said, "Look, you've got to come and meet Don Ha. He's in real estate," and of course I knew who Don Ha was, but and let's he'll chat to you about perhaps different investments, and of course because I love Phil so much, I said, okay, I'm going to meet this guy, but really I've been involved in property, my partner and I, for many years, and we think we've got it pretty well covered. So we met Don, and really the rest is history. We moved into really doing a couple of small investments with Don in properties in Queenstown, and then really built up that trust, and people have a forte and intrinsically know something, and I think Don's a natural when it comes to property and building a portfolio and investment, and we've really just trusted Don now to do all of that for us. We just sit back and, like I said, flying to Melbourne the other day, we got a message from Don, we were a bit delayed on the flight. Do you want these properties? Boom, done, and sign here. It's that simple. This guy knows real estate, and we just trust him and love him so much, and we've got on board, and now we're doing, I can't believe the level up that we've moved into with real estate. So and it's just moving on from there, isn't it, Don? We're now actually looking to, well, we're not looking, we are working together. Don's been doing seminars for many years, mentoring and talking to people about investments on all levels too, Don. It's not about having to have a lot of money to be able to get into these investments, but and hence the mentoring. You don't even have to be saying you're going to buy a property or get into any investments. Don will talk and coach people through, and moving forward, we're looking to work together in some of these seminars where I'll talk about, of course, rock confidence and the confidence that I've grown over the years in all areas, and then the confidence that I've now been able to have in Don to help grow our, well, really, being realistic, help grow our wealth. And
I think my experience having meeting Vicky is that through my knowledge and my daily dealing with properties, I do it every day, and it's very normal. It's very normal for me to sell 10 properties last night or 20
Good heavens.
in 20 days, and that's very normal for me. But and this is where I believe that our local market, we need further education, further understanding of clients' needs and wants, And I have a policy that whatever people make in business or in income, I make them the same money a year through properties. And I've been doing that for years with my client. And for me, it's very normal.
And it's a fact.
Regardless you earn 300, 500 or a million, I make the same money through properties. And I make some people even $5 million a year in properties. And my job is quite different. I have to create opportunities where, for example, those properties I sold last week to Vicky, when I woke upstairs this afternoon, right now I woke up afternoon, I had a phone call, and they said, what's going to buy it? And automatically I decided, okay, should she make 30,000 or 40,000? Well, that's my decision, see?
Yes.
So I told the agent, I said, no, this is the price that we should be selling it properly for. I have control over it. So Vicky sitting here, she doesn't even know that her property is sold.
Yes.
So we take care of it where it's stress-free for you.
Yes.
You go to work every day, you sit here having an interview, knowing that someone out there is taking care of your investment. So when can you provide that sort of support and that sort of stress-free, then people will do it.
Yes.
But if people have to go out there and do everything and they don't know what to do, and let's just say they get a new agent that's come into the industry because a brand new agent, an existing agent makes no difference to the public, are they? They are an agent, right? But I've been in real estate now for 30 years. You can't beat experience.
No, you can't.
You can't beat advice. And you can't beat knowledge.
That's dead right.
And that's the difference.
And it's a fact that, Don, realistically, we do nothing. Don will call up, do this, sign here. It's that simple, and I tell you, stress-free. Because the fact that you have to trust in the fact that Don does know, he knows exactly what he's doing. And it's not, I'm always a great believer in you're born with talents. You can do things and you can learn things, but it's intrinsically in you, certain talents. And I believe that, Don, real estate is not just something you do, it's a talent.
Yeah, it's 24/7 for me, and I'm passionate about it. And the thing is, I still can't believe that, as a 12-year-old boy, come to this country, speak no English. Now I'm controlling $2 billion assets.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, a guy will come along to me and say, hey, Don, here's $100 million development. Here's that much marketing money. Please sell it for me.
Yes.
Okay, before they built the building or designing, they'll say, I want to build this size apartment, 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 60, 80, 90 square meters. What do you think? I said, 90 square meters is too big, you've got to go 65 because it fits the market. So they now they would not have no meetings without they do not start a meeting without me being there.
Yes, and they probably don't even start the actual project until they've had your input.
Correct. And
which is very important.
Every day I woke up in the morning, I just saying how can this be? I'm just saying once upon a time, I had 9 families that sponsor our family.
Yes.
We had no food. We had to rent a house. Now someone come along and said, in fact, my most recent achievement at the Pacific Gardens in Manukau, total 1,200 properties, 700 million, and they're handing it over to me.
Really?
I mean, that's so overwhelming.
This is the man.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's an incredible inspiration to other people. And I suppose that's also where the rock confidence thing comes in, that Don, would be just such an inspiration to other people. Just saying you can come from nothing and come in there not speaking the language. It's all about whether you want to make good, whether you want to put the effort. And my father always used to say that, nothing happens unless somebody wants to make it happen, and you've just got to get stuck in there and work. Doesn't matter how low a level you start at. If you really want to work hard and try and persevere, you can get somewhere as long as you've got a bit of basic intelligence.
And I think with Don is his passion and drive that really got me, and people draw you in with their energy
and enthusiasm.
Exactly, and I think that's where we have then looked at opportunities to work together there, Don, with obviously, as I said, you've been running seminars for many years and mentoring, and but to be able to get on board with you and do some of that with you is for me, I feel quite excited.
We got something even bigger than the property coming up now. on June 22nd and 23rd, we have the famous Robin Bank, which is the My Power guy. He's an online mentor student by John Kehoe. He is actually doing a joint seminar with us in Auckland and Wellington. And guess what? Vicky is going to be one of our guest speakers.
Really? Oh, fantastic.
So, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's when Don invited me to speak with himself and Robin Banks, and as he said, Robin Banks being one of the big international motivational speakers and mind power gurus, really, I felt I was so excited because here I am being able to get on stage and speak to a number of people about, well, confidence, obviously, with rock confidence, but moving it into helping people see that you can invest in this guy. And Robin Banks himself, investment, and it's not even just necessarily about money, it's just investing in and knowing that you're going to be all the better for it. You're going to be a better person for it, regardless. But so that's pretty exciting to be working with these men.
The Auckland as a channel is quite flat. It needs inspiration, and I'm the sort of guy that sits back and says, "No, we need inspiration. We need to do something." So we bring up Robin Banks and, "Hey, Robin, how about come over doing a joint seminar with us?" He said, "No problem, I'm in." And I said, "While you're here, let's go to Wellington same time." He said, "Okay." So, and I said, well, if Britney Spears can tour these different countries overnight, we can go Wellington and come back and go to Auckland the next night. We can do it.
Of course.
Easy.
And you know what I
Easy.
really think would be a fantastic idea, it's very inspirational, is, anybody who's successful and has property and, involved in these sorts of things, they need to know all about drinking champagne. So I think it would be wonderful if part of this seminar we had Champagne Lady there.
Absolutely.
Well,
Presenting some fantastic champagne jacquard. What do you think, guys?
I can get, well, you know me.
That's always been
Champagne lady.
inspirational. Oh, your glass is over here. Sorry,
yes,
Don.
Yes, Don.
You need to have a little. I know you're not
drink champagne.
basically.
Well, but we have to.
We can have a
to
little
toast.
cheers, a little toast
Here's to moving forward.
to the future and to your wonderful
Absolutely.
undertakings. I'd like to know a little bit, Don, about what you think about the Auckland apartment market. There's a lot of buildings going up. In fact, one of my friends, Port or Norfolk Property Trust, they are just building the Antipodean, which is sort of in the last stages of construction. There's 15 stories and there's 160 apartments. It's going to be a fabulous building, and it's nearing the finishing of the construction. And I mean, how many other apartment buildings are going up at the moment? What do you think the market is for them, given the changes in the regulations and so on, thanks to Jacinda and the Labour Party?
Well, it's a big
what do you
shortage,
think?
Actually, in fact, 3 years ago, 35 of the apartment project did not get built. So even the number of apartments getting built right now in Auckland City is not enough. And there's not many new ones that are getting built now neither, because of the current market, the finance and cost of construction. So the building here in Beach Road, the Antipodean, I saw it coming on market. It's a really good price, and you cannot buy it back now for the same price. Whatever people paid for it 2 years ago, it has gone up at least 20-30% now.
Oh, that's good.
And to get another one like that, they can't repeat it. They cannot build the same one for the same price anymore. So when that's finished, there'll be a number of people that will queue up for these apartments, either to buy them to live in or to rent them. And then there's another big project coming, a new market that I'm aware of that I'll be involved in. Apartment in Central CBD, you can't go wrong buying an apartment in Central CBD at all.
Vicky, you and Charlotte have bought a fabulous penthouse in the City Life building. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. How do you feel about that? How is that moved forward as far as the value and so on is concerned?
Look, as Don says, the thing is there isn't enough land to be building all of these apartments. So what you've got is what you've got. So I really don't believe you can go wrong. And furthermore from that, I often have people talk to me about property. Oh, it's the market's here and it's there, and you're losing, and all I say to them is, many years ago, a friend of mine in real estate said to me, the best time to buy real estate is yesterday, but the next best time is today.
Yes, it sounds
And
like me with the
I
champagne.
I took that on board. Exactly, I'll drink to that.
Drink it now.
And so obviously we got the penthouse on Queen Street, which, and we've only owned it for a short amount of time, but we haven't looked back on that value. We just feel so happy with that purchase. Further on from that, with Don, one of our first investments, I think, Don, was apartments in Queenstown.
Yeah.
And
she bought it and then sold it for the next month. And
Yep.
I think, how many handbags are you going to buy?
I was actually overseas at the time. I was in Sydney.
She'd
Don
already
said-
bought the
Don said,
handbags.
I've sold a couple of those for you already. So I did, actually, you're right, champagne lady. I had actually bought one of the handbags. But we've invested down in Queenstown with Don in a number of apartments, and we're pretty excited about that. And once again, with Queenstown, there's only a limited amount of land, and you really can't go wrong. But it just shows you that there's so many different levels to be getting on board with property. You don't think that you need to have a huge amount of money. I mean, I was just laughing actually yesterday, thinking about my first property that I bought. I bought my first property in Turangi. I'll say that again.
You said there's a stunned
I bought my
Turangi.
first property in Turangi, and this side of the desert road, because I was a prison officer living there. So why wouldn't you buy?
I cannot see you as a prisoner officer.
So I bought that, and you know why my parents had to be guarantor for me, and they put their house up in Palmerston North against for me to be able to purchase that property at 100% finance.
Wow. That's amazing.
Back then. And you know, out of that, I sold that property, and the next property I invested into was in Herne Bay,
Gosh,
Auckland.
well, that's a bit of a difference.
Because you know what? It doesn't matter. You just can't go wrong. But there are levels, and of course, never looked back. In property, it's been something that we've done. But all I'm saying is we thought we were doing extremely well. But quite honestly, hand on heart, getting on board with Don in the property arena, we just haven't looked back, and
That's
you
amazing.
just don't have to do anything. Don does it all for you.
I was just thinking I should maybe start thinking of something like that, and I might be able to raise some money for the New Zealand Cat Foundation, my charity. As you know, those pussies are eating me out of house and home,
Yeah, literally.
with all their vet bills and everything, and I need to get some money, and with few donations, maybe this is an idea for me.
What you do, Anne, is you have to give your champagne money to fund your cats.
Exactly.
And that's hard work. That's your hard working money.
Well, it is actually. Yeah, it is.
And for example, when you buy a property off the plan, which is what we specialize in, we don't sell every apartment, by the way. We pick the one we believe it has capital growth for our investors. Say, for example, in Queenstown, you buy an apartment off the plan for $730,000. You put down $73,000 deposit. It takes about 18 months to finish. Well, if you buy one now, you've got to put down, say, $210,000 to buy the same apartment because it's finished. And you wait for the growth for the next 2 years to sell, right? But when you buy off the plan, you put only $73,000 down. When it's finished, it's already worth $100,000 more. Then that's when you sell within 90 days.
Yes.
You make your $73,000 and $73,000. You do it at 3 times, you make $210,000.
It's just too easy.
There's your cat funded.
Exactly. That would save all the pussies.
Yeah, and more.
I need to do that.
And we can keep drinking champagne.
Well, we like that. But Don, now you grabbed your opportunity when you came here all those years ago, and so did the rest of your family by the sound of it. Do you think that now, if you were to arrive in New Zealand around now, do you think there's the same opportunities for people?
Well, I think there's more opportunities, because then to get someone with expert knowledge and help, and to go to do a property course or to do any course you want to do, then in 1980, none of that were available. The education sector were not available, the internet age were not available. Nothing, no one will help you because you don't know where to go. But now, for example, the other day I was in the Salvation Army, and there was a class of 30 refugees in there. So, and it was so winding back the clock, you know. There were 30 people there. There's Somalia, Thailand, China, Russia, Ukraine, you name it. They all got up, and then one lady got up and she wrote a little a speech in English that she remembered, and there were two Vietnamese ladies in the audience. And I couldn't help myself when they all done their speech, and I said, I have something to say. I said, once upon a time, I was you in this room. And I said, today I have a company that employs 50 staff. I control over 2 billion of assets. Can be done, so believe in yourself.
Yes.
And that only little 2-minute thing that I said, it wowed the whole audience, it wowed all the Salvation Army people there. And I would love the opportunity to provide people guidance that yes, it can be done, but firstly you got to want it to be done. You got to work together.
Yes.
And you got to have that common goal of being successful. I think today people can do it better, but a lot of us today think that the chance of being successful, become a multi-millionaire is now really hard because the richer gets richer and the poor get poorer. But no, I think the poor can get richer. Because no one wants to be richer anymore. They just have this mentality that, hey, I'm done with it. But, you know, I have mentored people. I have a 7 years program that you can become a millionaire within 7 years. Some do it in 3 years, 5 years. So it can be done.
Well, I'm really pleased to hear that, because I have to say, my dad, who recently passed away, 97 years old, Vicky knew him well.
Sorry to hear that, 97 years old.
Yes.
Very good.
Well, he came, you know, he was in New Zealand. He came from America at 3.5, 4 years old, and his family had nothing. And Dad was busy doing all the things that little kids do. He was actually cutting grasses and whacking it to get the seeds to sell to people on the side of the road. I mean, unbelievable stuff as a little boy. He started proper work at 13 years old, and he just worked his way up. And they had nothing. They didn't get any help, as you say. There was nothing. He didn't even have shoes or anything. And he worked himself up into a situation where he had his own business, 100 staff. We went public, sold out. I mean, Dad was just the most amazing man. And
was he ever?
Yeah, and he just worked hard and got there and made it. Rock Chick, thank you so much for bringing Don in. He's just been an inspiration, and he's just amazing. I just love him.
My pleasure.
So, best of luck with the ventures that you've got together. And hey, I might even be tempted to get some property myself and help save the pussies. But everybody else wants to know how they can get in touch with you guys, and how can they get involved in the property market, Don?
Well, the fastest way is if everybody got a cell phone, Facebook, they just look me on Facebook, send me a messenger, and then they'll get a reply from me instantly.
Don Ha.
Yep.
That's it?
That's it.
Don
But I do
Ha,
have
man.
5,000 friends on this. I can't accept any more, but just messenger me.
Okay. I hope you can squeeze me in.
I'll just delete someone else off.
me.
Maybe we might even be able to convert to the odd glass of champagne. Jacquard, of course. Cheers. Well, that's our show for tonight. Both Don and Vicky have followed the same path to success, putting together property portfolios with intelligence and patience. It can work for you. Thank you for being part of Keeping Up with Champagne Lady. See you next week. Cheers.